Did anybody else grow up with the evolution of the Hulk throughout movies? I'm not talking about the animated shows and the comics and everything, but specifically through the movies. Now, if I remember correctly, the first Hulk movie that comes to mind, I'm not talking about the super old ones, but the first movie that comes to mind for me is the 2001 Eric Bana, one of the two. He played the Hulk, where they had that cameo with Lou Ferrigno in there from the OG live action series. And that movie wasn't amazing. I did try to revisit it a couple times in my life, and it's a little bit of a pill. At least for me personally, it's hard to sit through. They tried to go for this comics feel with how they scene transitioned, and it was a cool concept, but it made it a little hard on the eyes. There were a few flaws about it that just, I don't know, it made it hard for me to finish that movie nowadays. But you gotta admit, for the time, I don't think it was a bad movie. You know, at that point, the only similar quality superhero films were like the X-Men stuff and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. But Eric Bana, I think he did okay. You know, in hindsight, he was kind of the tip of the spear, let's say, for Hulk movies. And then down the line, in like 2008, I think it was, we got a movie that I personally love, although I know it's kind of a controversy, that being The Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton playing Bruce Banner. Now, Ed Norton as Bruce Banner was okay. The movie itself was pretty good. I really just loved how they did Hulk. I loved the design of him. I loved the way that he acted, the way that he fought, the way he even sounded. Everything was phenomenal, in my opinion, about Ed Norton's Hulk. And I gotta appreciate the fact that it's technically part of the MCU. Even if it's very loosely connected, I'm still happy about that, because I love the movie, you know, despite what some of the naysayers might feel about it. And then we got Mark Ruffalo, who is, you know, still the Hulk to this day, or at least one of them now, with there being She-Hulk and all that. But Mark Ruffalo, I don't think he's bad at all. You know, I really like his Bruce Banner. To this day, I think his Bruce Banner is really good in terms of how he represents that analytical, cautious scientist. But I was never a big fan of his Hulk. I like that they made the Hulk kind of look like him. You know, that made sense to me. If you're going to transform into a giant green monster, you may as well have some resemblance, because, I don't know, to me that just feels more natural. It feels more like a transformation of a human to a humanoid as opposed to just a person to a different person. Because to me, Ed Norton's Hulk and Ed Norton didn't look anything alike, but I still loved the design of Ed Norton's Hulk the best. In my opinion, it was just the absolute greatest. Eric Bana's Hulk wasn't a bad design either. It's just not my favorite. It kind of looked like a really young Hulk, in my opinion. Ed Norton's Hulk just fit that cookie cutter for me. I don't know how else to describe it. I know I'm glazing the fuck out of the guy right now, but just his appearance fit that brutal, animalistic, violent creature. You know what I mean? It looked great. Mark Ruffalo's Hulk didn't look bad, but even when he looked mad, I don't know, I've seen him compared a lot to like gorillas in the way that they made him act, and I gotta say that's a pretty accurate statement with the way that he acted in the early movies, and then just, I don't know, even his facial expressions, and that one scene in, I think it was Age of Ultron, or no, it was in a 2012 Avengers, Captain America was like, Hulk smash, and Hulk just fucking like grinned like that. That felt like, I don't know, there was something kind of gorilla about that, in my opinion. Somebody's gonna flame me in the comments, I'm sure, but keep it to yourself, I don't give a shit. And I don't know, I understand that I think Warner Brothers is the one that holds the rights to it. Maybe I'm wrong, but for some reason they just have not made any fucking Hulk movies since 2008, which is really disappointing. We got Thor Ragnarok, which would have been the perfect time before that came out to have released, I think it was called Planet Hulk or World War Hulk or something like that, where Hulk was on Sakaar or whatever it's called. Would have been a great opportunity for that movie to come out, but it didn't happen for one reason or another. I know there's some issues behind it. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm here for entertainment. I'm not here for the logistics behind shit. But I don't know. It feels like we should have gotten another Hulk movie. It felt like we should have gotten two, between the movie that should have came before Thor Ragnarok and then the movie that should have came after Avengers Endgame, before the She-Hulk series. No, actually, I lied. Before Endgame, during the time jump, should have been another movie. And it would have been nice to see one after Endgame, but to each their own, I can't really control that. That one isn't as critical, I would say, because we could have gotten, Hulk's rise to champion status on that planet. And then in the other movie, we would have gotten, obviously, Bruce Banner's journey into becoming Smart Hulk. But if we could just combine, and there's a reason I'm saying this, if we could combine Ruffalo Banner with Norton Hulk, we would just have a perfect on-screen Hulk, in my opinion. Perfect live-action on-screen Hulk. Between the design and the characteristics of Norton's Hulk, and then Ruffalo Banner's personality and acting, it would be phenomenal. I mean, imagine seeing that same clearly thinking, tactical, violent creature that was Norton Hulk against Thanos. Granted, we didn't really get to see Hulk versus Thanos very much, but imagine how great of a fight that would have been. That would have been like absolutely top 5 MCU fights right there. If we got the same Hulk that fought Abomination, OG Abomination, not the Abomination we got in She-Hulk, Norton Hulk versus Big Chin Thanos would have been a fucking legendary battle. And then same goes for if we could have gotten a him versus Thor fight. Oh my god, Norton Hulk as a champion versus Thor. I could see it now, the progression of people making edits of like 2008 Norton Hulk versus Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, and just the way that they act and the way they carry themselves. I could 100% see that being a thing in an alternate reality. And then of course you can't talk about Hulk fighting people without talking about Wolverine. We could have had a genuinely super interesting Hulk versus Wolverine movie. Oh, imagine how good that would have been, man. I think Buffalo Banner and Norton Hulk and She-Hulk would have been really fun as well, because, again, Norton Hulk, the way that it carried himself and acted and looked and everything, would have just felt a lot more mentory to She-Hulk, as opposed to the more comedic route that they went. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking out my ass, but this is just how I feel about it. And the reason I bring all this up is because they are talking about, with Spider-Man Brand New Day, having a Savage Hulk. People are like,
oh yeah, we're gonna get a Savage Hulk again. Da, 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 da. Like we got with Harrison Ford's Red Hulk in Captain America Brave New World and this, that, or another. OG Hulk is back.
Which I'm super excited to see, 100%. But I would like it more if it was the 2008 Savage Hulk. Because the 2012 Hulk, he was alright. He wasn't all that, though, in my opinion. I think what he was lacking, now that I'm talking about it, is he didn't seem to think. Whereas with Norton Hulk, you could, see him analyzing. I don't know. I'm rambling. I know I am. With Brand New Day, people are bringing up this scene from the comics where, after Peter Parker has his identity erased from everyone's memories, Hulk calls him Peter, and they have this little interaction where Peter's like, did you just call me Peter? And Hulk's like, yeah, you made everyone forget. Banner forget. Hulk never forget. It was a great scene. I have a feeling that they're going to go for that somehow with this, but I don't know, because if we're getting a Savage Hulk, why would we get a scene like that? You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see what they do. The MCU's already been in a wishy-washy state for a little while now. I really enjoyed Captain America Brave New World. I know a lot of people didn't. I really enjoyed Thunderbolts. I know that was mixed feelings. I'm looking forward to it. If you have anything to say, please keep it to yourself, because I absolutely hate reading comments. I hope this video has been entirely unhelpful to you, and I hope you have a bad day. Alright, y'all are getting treated today. You get to hear me crack open my drink for this recording. Oh, yeah. It's so good every time. Like early days, not the early days, but, maybe I'm wrong. That OG, nope, not yet, Thomas, back up.